Yeah.
Okay, it's time. My
Uh-oh.
favorite part of the show.
Here we
I'm
go.
putting Reggie on the hot seat. Reggie, are you ready?
Let's do it.
What does it mean with Reggie? The Minnesota Wild won last night in overtime versus the Sharks 5-4. And while
Mm-hmm.
we'll always take the W, experts will tell you it shouldn't even have really gotten that close. Far
Yeah.
more talented Wild team versus the Sharks. But between Marc-Andre Fleury giving up some uncharacteristic 4 goals and a power play unit that at one point deep in this game, Reggie, through 4 power plays, had 0 shots. They
Man.
gave up a shorthanded goal and amassed what felt like to be 50 turnovers. So what does it mean when it comes to more cause for concern for the Wild's final playoff push? Is it Fleury's shaky and inconsistent play in the net as of late, or the Wild's special team atrocities?
You know, look, I'm not the biggest hockey guy, so I can't sit here and just act like I know X's and O's and all that stuff. But like, I think I've seen enough Wild games to know that they're going to be okay. Like, you talk about Bill Guerin making these moves here toward the trade deadline to solidify the team. Like, okay, we're going for it. Okay, like we're doing this, and they've responded well to that. And I think what I've seen from them kind of gives me the confidence that they're going to be okay. Like they're going to be able to compete with teams and really be able to beat some teams in the playoffs. And I think, like I discussed a little bit ago, like you would like to think that Flowers' performance is something that is a little bit of an anomaly, but they went and got him, and they traded away, Capo, who we saw yesterday. But like, you got Cam Talbot, and since Fleury has like been here in Minnesota, like the dude is playing some really good hockey in goal, and I think that's the reason why you have 2 guys like that. Like that's the reason why when one guy may be struggling, maybe he has the yips or whatever the case is, like you can put the other guy in there and know that you're gonna still get some high level goaltending from that guy. And I think the Wild have enough depth too when you talk about first, second, third line, all those things. Like they have enough depth to go ahead and do what they have to do. Like I thought the game was over. When they're playing the Blues, like,
Right.
and then they storm back to go to OT. And I think like when you see things like that happen, you're just like, look, man, like even if you don't know a lot about hockey, you're like, okay, there's something with this team, man. Like I think they can do some things, and I think that gives me the confidence to say like, oh, I think they'll be okay regardless of some of these like shaky things that are happening in these games. Like they're getting it out of their system before the real thing starts.
That's what we hope, right? A double dip in here. I'm going to go back to the Wild because the bright spot for the team has been Kevin Fiala. We heard Sam bring him up, and another monster game, 4 points last night. He has been a man amongst boys. What does it mean for a possible extension for Fiala, who has earned the right to be paid as one of the Wild's top players?
It's funny because when we had the Marc-Andre Fleury press conference a little while back, the question was asked to General Manager Bill Guerin, like, okay, look, you making all these moves, bruh, but what does that mean for the future? He's just like, man, can we just enjoy this right now?
Right.
Like, can we do that? And
Don't ruin this for me. Right.
And I think what, is the thing is like, look, we really don't want to think about it right now. We don't want to talk about that right now because like he will have some decisions to make, and Kevin Fiala is making it very hard on him as far as like, okay, because there's only so much money to go around. You know what I mean? And you've invested in guys like Jeep and Kirill, and you got Dumba, and it's like, look, like something is gonna have to give here. And, they made the conscious decision, like I said, to trade Capo. They're just like, look, like we probably aren't going to be able to pay him. We'll just have to kind of do without and see what happens with Fleury moving forward.
Right.
Whether or not it's just a 1 year, like, I hate to call it a rental, but, like a 1 year deal.
Yep.
Or will he possibly come back? He's just like, look, I can't get enough of that cold up there in Minnesota. I'll come back for that. But like honestly though, like Guerin has some decisions to make, and Fiala is playing out of his mind.
Right.
And I just don't know how that is going to play out, because like he's the type of a guy that you like, look, man, I want to keep around, you know, I want to keep building with this guy in mind. And it's just like, well, there's only so much money to go around unless you're like, you know, I don't know, robbing somebody to pay him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how
you get all this money.
Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know how that plays out. And, you know, you ask, what does it mean? I think it means that there's some decisions to be made that are going to be difficult.
All right, last one. What does it mean with Reggie? The Minnesota Twins wrap up their 4-game stand against the Red Sox today, hoping for at best a split after losing their last 2. More depressing, the fact since losing Byron Buxton Friday, the team has scored just 1 run in 20-plus innings without Buxton in the lineup. So, Reggie, what does it mean for the Twins' offense when Buxton just can't stay on the field?
I mean, look, we got to pick it up. You know, Carlos Correa talked about, like, look, I know what championship, you know, play looks like. It's like, okay, champion. Right. All right, champ. Time to buck up. Like, we need you to kind of, you know, rally the troops and let's do this thing. I think, man, it sucks. Like, I haven't been here for very long, and so many people are just pessimistic about Byron Buxton. It's just like we're always just like waiting on the injury to happen. And when it did, there were so many people on my Twitter like, man, here we go again. I knew it. Yeah, this is just the least surprising thing to happen. It always happens. It's just like, dang, man, like you want to be optimistic. I'm coming in with like fresh eyes to this thing, and I'm and I'm feeling it for them. I'm just like, dang, man.
Reggie's still new to this vibe over here. We got in Minnesota.
I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, he was playing out of his mind in the spring. Like, he really seemed to carry some of that good momentum over into the season. And a routine play, like something you just do all the time. Thankfully, it's not like anything too severe. Like the MRI showed that there is no like significant damage or anything like that. But it just sucks. Like his frustration showed it. He's just like, oh, here we go again. Dang it, man. I'm hurt again. Like just sliding into second base, like something that he's probably done since he was a child. Like it's just one of the more, you know, mundane things that they do in base. Like, I don't even think they even think about it at this point. They're just like, oh, I'm sliding. Yep, I'm on the ground. Yep, I'm on the base. And it's just like, it sucks because, like, he obviously is an emotional catalyst. You know, like, his energy is just, like, off the charts. And I think guys feed off of that. When he's playing well, like, other guys are just, like, jacked up and juiced up, too. And I think that's probably the biggest thing because they have the talent on the bats, but it's just like, look, one guy can't stop the show. Like it's time to rake. Like, especially if that's going to be what this team is like building its identity on as they try to figure out this whole pitching thing, because like the pitching thing, whew, Lord, it might be a long season, you know, talking about some of this stuff. Like Joe Ryan was awesome. He was awesome.
Solid.
But then
solid.
You come out and Sonny Gray gets hurt in the second inning of his second start as a Twin. And you're just like, come on, man. Like, now he goes on the injured list. And you're already like kind of, you know, just skating by a little bit with your pitching as it stands. And you're just like, dang, man, like we just couldn't afford that. So, you know, you ask, what does it mean? It means that, like, these bats are going to have to pick it up. I mean, they already kind of had a little bit of pressure on them just based on, you know, just trying to get this pitching staff in line to try to carry the team. And now they're going to have to do it even more so.
Okay, he did it again. He survived the gauntlet. Huge thank you, by the way, to Sam Ekstrom joining us on today's episode. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us every day for another episode covering all the biggest topics in Minnesota sports. He's Reggie Wilson. Follow him on Twitter at Reggie Wilson TV and on KARE11. I'm Luke Inman on Twitter at Luke_Spinman. Tune in tomorrow to Superior Sports Talk of the Locked On Sports Minnesota.
Peace. Be blessed. Spread love this week.
This is Superior Sports Talk with Reggie Wilson and Luke Inman, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota.